How have you been? Oh, and were you able to follow along from the recording?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for the tips.
Welcome.
Yeah, I look all over many times, but I could not find it. What's wrong? Why it doesn't show up the second page?
Yeah, programmers try to never capitalize anything because JavaScript doesn't know the difference between an uppercase and a lowercase, so you always
Mm.
need to be the same. So people tend to never capitalize. What they do is called Camel Case, where you have the first letter lowercase and then all next words are uppercase.
Mm. So all the program for all the languages or just this one?
Yeah, pretty much all languages you need the
Uh,
correct syntax there.
mhm.
Usually because using a capital letter is used for very specific stuff sometimes. If you're yeah, there are times where someone would make a capital letter thing, but it's a very specific case.
Mhm.
It's usually for like plugins and stuff.
Usually what?
For like plugins or
Um,
making more native stuff.
um, how now what this this thing you already learned long time ago.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. About yeah, it's been a long time since I did just normal HTML and stuff. It's great to go back and look at how to do it.
really?
But
Oh.
but yeah, the goal is to once you learn this stuff, once you learn the basics, then
Mm,
you can start making or using what's called frameworks, which
mm,
allow you to do like really high level or like cool stuff, but
mm,
very fast. For
mm,
example, like a lot of big websites, right? They have a lot more going on than our websites, but they
yeah.
load up at our websites are still going to load up faster, but they load up very fast considering how much they actually have to download.
Mm,
Um, and that's where frameworks come in. They let you do very big things really fast.
mm. So framework is like what exactly it is?
Um, Here I can actually show
It's
you.
another language.
Yes and no. Frameworks are um, well, let's take Angular as an example. Angular is the framework I like. It's it's like a new language, but it's built on top of JavaScript and HTML. So
Oh.
you still use JavaScript and HTML,
Mm,
but you can do a lot of extra stuff. Kind of like how
oh.
we use jQuery.
Mm,
jQuery it's not another language; it's just built on top of JavaScript.
oh. Oh, I see.
And by building on top of it, also implies you can go back down, which is what there's something called a compiler, um,
Mm,
and a compiler will take higher level stuff and compile it down to lower level stuff. For
mm-hmm,
example, like jQuery, right?
mm-hmm,
jQuery lets you do a lot of stuff in a few lines. What it's
mm-hmm,
really doing on the the back end, the magic black box, is it's taking the line of jQuery you wrote and it turning it into the correct lines of JavaScript.
oh, on the back end.
Yeah.
Oh.
you can almost think of it as a function. And in fact, a lot of libraries start off as just like function libraries where you just call, they have a bunch of functions and then you can call those functions.
Mm-hmm. So now what you are learning now?
Um, right now I'm in a part where I'm not learning a whole lot right now, anything new. I've been learning some NPM stuff, making packages.
Mm.
That's been cool. But that's kind of just like it. Um, you know, HTTP server, the thing. I think I had a video about it. It's here. It's basically NPM is for making packages for other people to use.
Oh.
And here's one HTTP server. Angular is on NPM. You can just type in
Mm-hmm.
Angular and then there's the Angular CLI. But yeah, oh, it seems like you might be the only person today.
Oh, they're not coming.
I'm not sure. It doesn't seem like it. We'll see. Maybe I posted the time wrong. But I do have a recording, so we can continue on a bit here. Oh, do you have like a way to download stuff? Like it
Oh.
for later downloading like VS Code and things like that.
No, not
Oh,
yet.
all right. Um, let's go ahead then. Give me one moment.
The for the download that one that you have a recording on the YouTube. That one is look like you did not show the your screen
Oh, I
sharing.
didn't. Oh shoot.
Yeah, I think only blank Google page.
Oh, thank you for letting me know. Wow. Yeah, I tried to record that real quick on vacation. I didn't watch it through. Shoot. I will make another recording. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay. So that local environment is it better than the one we using now online?
Yeah. For example, for Angular, right? Well, I wonder. I mean, maybe it's possible to get Angular and stuff on here. I mean, it does have a console. It is better, yeah. Just because one, it's what people use more. Um,
Oh.
and I was gonna say you can't like use Angular and stuff on REPL, but I don't want to say that just yet because I'm not entirely sure. I'm always surprised by like what REPL can do. In fact,
Mm.
let me try something here. Let me go to Replit. Um, if you were to download Angular, just so you know how to do it, you just go to npm and then
Mm-hmm.
type in Angular. You go down to Angular CLI. Don't do this right now. Just let me see if it works. Can REPL install? Here, new file. It would still be better to do it from a local environment, just for the practice of it. But let us see. Surely you won't be able to use Firebase with it. Oh, maybe you need to download no npm first, or download node. Nah, I don't think so. It doesn't seem like you can do it. The main thing is that you need to download a bunch of stuff to be able to use Angular, and I don't think you can do that through Replit. All right. Let's go ahead and look into making a contact page. If we have all this stuff, I'm going to go ahead and try and make a contact page so that we can try to practice making a form. Go ahead and add a new file and call that contact.html, all lowercase. Now we'll go ahead and take the index, go Command or Control A, copy it, and put that in the contact.html. And then we'll have to change a couple things here. Let's go ahead and change the class equals active and put that on the contact list. And we'll have to go ahead and add something for the contact list here. We'll go to our A right after the class link and type in href equals quotation mark / contact.html. So changing the class to active and adding a href to contact.html. We technically don't need it for the contact button, but still good to have. And that href equals contact.html we will put on the other two files as well. So in the about, we'll go down here, and in the anchor, on the contact, we'll add contact.html, and same with the index. And now, if we run it, we can go to the about page and the contact page. And there we go. And let's, on the contact page, say contact page, so we know we're on the contact page. Let me run that again, test it out. You always want to be constantly testing your code. And there we go. Welcome to the contact page.
So you put the same href, the same on the index and contact.
Yes, on the index and the about. Yeah.
And about too?
Yep.
All of them. Oh.
Yep. That way you can get to contact from anywhere. And not to go off onto a tangent here, but just to illustrate the coolness of a framework, is that if you see here, let me go ahead and move this to a website. We can go to contact and about. That's all pretty quick. But the main thing you notice is that when you go to different pages, you're completely reloading the page. In fact, you can see /about.html up here in the URL. You're completely reloading the page and reloading the entirety of the code. That's why we have to copy the code for the nav bar and put it on every file, because it's not the same nav bar. It's a totally new but identical nav bar on each page. The cool thing about a framework is that you have a kind of component structure. Or in other words, you have a box of code that you can keep reusing. And not only that, but all your code is in a single file in a way. Like it's a single page app is what it's called. You have all the different pages of your code all on the same area. So you don't have this like slash index.html. You're never completely reloading anything. You're just like changing what's actually being written. It's a bit complicated to think about, but it's very easy once you get started on it. All right. So is the nav bar working?
Not yet.
There we go.
So you copy from index file to
Yeah.
context, right?
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, the goal is to make a nearly identical page every time. That way the user doesn't notice we're completely reloading the page. All right. How's it going? Are you getting any errors?
It's not error yet. It's like it's running slow.
Okay. I might suggest reloading the page.
Okay. How do you reload it?
Should be up here. You're like reloading the replet. You could also click stop and then start it again.
Uh,
Here.
click on the stop.
Yeah.
Why is all my on index page? All my text in the paragraph change color.
I am not sure. You mean like they're a different color?
Yeah, change to the like orange.
Um, it's possible you have something in your CS or CSS that's messing with that. I can if you can share your screen, I can try to see.
Mm. Can you see?
Oh, I see. Okay. On line 15, you have you're missing a quotation mark after contact.html.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
after the
wrong.
HTML part, you need to include that
After the
.html.
oh, I put the wrong one. Wrong place. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Replit has its own like styling for coloring code, and then everything in the quotation marks are orange. So when you forget one, it makes everything orange.
Oh, can you check my about page? Do I need
Oh
to
yeah.
add href? I need to add
Um.
here, do I?
Yes. Hello, Lucky. Should be inside the anchor.
Inside.
Yes.
Sorry, I could not make it on time today.
It's okay. Um, what we have done here, all we've done so far is just making a new file here called contact.html. And then taking our index, copying the entire thing, and putting that into the contact.html file. And then doing some small changes. Once you've copied it down, you're going to need to take the class equals active class and put it on the contact list. That way, when you're on the contact, it shows that you're actively on that tab. And then have to add an href to the contact called href equals quotation mark slash contact.html quotation mark. And then putting that href on each of the other files. Basically, making it so that from any file you can go to the contact.html page.
ไม่เป็นไง
So what I am doing now, so I just copy whatever on the index. I just click, right click and say duplicate, right?
Actually, yeah, that would work too. Duplicate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I duplicate and then I just change to be like about and contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, we are using the same website from last time. Last class. We're just adding more to it.
Okay.
Can you check when I click on
Yep.
the about? It's my contact doesn't show, but it linked. Then when I click, it blank. And
All right.
then we
You can
share.
go ahead and share your screen.
Oh. This one it doesn't have a name here.
Huh. Oh, yeah, I see.
But
Line
I click,
15
but
again.
when I
Oh,
click it have
yeah. That's because on line 15 you don't have the greater than sign after the link. A class link quotation mark should be a greater than sign right after that. That way you're closing the tag. Oh wait, no, sorry, my bad. Should be after the contact.html part. Keep that all within the tag. Yeah, it does tend to take a second if you're also like live streaming. Maybe click stop and then run again. Maybe click stop one more time and then run because I thought it said connected. No.
I think it's working.
Okay.
See this
Yeah, your
one.
code
This
looks
one.
correct. Mind going to your index.html so I can see, double check. Yep. All right. Looks good. Good job.
Thank you.
Oh, actually, one thing on the contact.html, you should put that class equals active on line 13.
13 class equal.
Yeah. And just copy that and put it on the li on line 15. Like here, I'll show you. Imagine this was my here. Okay. Under contact, you still have the index or class equals active up here. So just go ahead and take that, copy it, delete it, and put it on the contact list element, list item.
Oh, put on line 15.
Remember the class equals active just changes the background color to a slightly brighter red. That way you can see on here which tab you're currently on. And the interesting thing about this is that to the user, it looks like it's the same nav bar every time. Just it's interactive and changing. But really, it's an entirely different nav bar every time. All right, how's it going, Lucky? Do you have the contact file working?
I'm still working on it.
All right. Take your time. Oh, also, one more thing on the contact.html. It should say welcome to home page. Just change that to welcome to contact page. That way you know you're on the contact page.
Okay.
Oh, and one thing that might be quicker is instead of keeping everything on your output, just going to this open in a new tab button. And now you have everything on its own window. And now changing things is a little bit quicker, I think.
Is before run, is it auto save in the?
It doesn't always autosave. I think it should. But especially if you're doing a run a new tab, you can go ahead and press Command F or Control F just to save it. And that should be the equivalent of running it. And in a new, if you're doing a new tab, it should be quicker. You do less with Replit. You can just, use the server side.
If you would like to go ahead, it's fine. I can follow later.
Okay. On the contact.html, if everyone is ready enough, let's first go ahead and just take out this paragraph tag here. And then we're going to go ahead and add what's called a form. We're going to make it so that when they contact us, we have a little form to put in their information and stuff. We'll go form, that's a form tag. And then we'll do input. And as you can see, input does not automatically close. Input is a self-closing tag. Hello. And we have the whole gang now.
Yeah.
All right. As just to explain one more time here for Finya, we've basically just made a new file here called contact. You may have already made this. Just duplicating contact or the index.html and putting it into the contact.html. Changing a couple things, changing the name here with contact page instead of home page. Changing the class.active to the list item of contact instead of the home one. And adding an href equals / contact.html to each page. Just putting that on the anchor that says contact. That way, from any page, you can get to the contact page. As you can see.
Thanks. Sorry, we are a bit late. I thought it's 5:30, not 5. Okay.
It's okay. I was also confused. Do I usually do or 5 or 6:30? I feel like
Last week it's 5:30. That last time it was 5:30. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll have to, yeah. Sorry about that. If that was, yeah. I've been changing time zones a lot, so I'm a little confused as to like, where
No,
everything is.
actually, your original timing is at I think it's 6 o'clock Eastern time.
Maybe I've been doing it 6:30 by accident. I'm a little confused right now, given all my time zone changes. I believe, yeah, one class that ended like 30 minutes early because yeah. All right. And on the contact page, we just have a form tag and an input tag. You can also just go ahead and, if you want to speed things up, just start doing all this stuff on the about page instead. There's a open a new tab button I'm using, so I have a whole website here, and then just you can put all this code, this form stuff on the about page, or even the index, and then you can move it to contact later. All right, but the main goal today is to just make a input field or make a whole form so you can give some information to be able to contact you and then being able to save that data somehow. Or depending on how much time we have, we'll like display the data. We don't have databases yet, so we'll either console.log the data or display it in some way. So the first thing to do will be on our form tag here to just give it an ID. We'll give it ID equals form. That way in our jQuery, we can get to it. And I am just realizing we do not have jQuery added to our page yet. So let me go ahead and look up jQuery link Google. That's what I usually do. Shoot. There we go. We can scroll down to jQuery and just grab the latest one. I'll post the jQuery link in the chat here. You can just go ahead and copy that code and paste it in your file right above your script.js. And now you have jQuery. I'm just putting it in my contact because that's the only one that's using jQuery right now. But if you're using your about or index to put your index or to put your form files, go ahead and put jQuery in those files. All right, and any questions for me before we start with the form stuff? And does anyone have the jQuery part plugged in? Any problems in copying the jQuery script in?
Is the end of the jQuery need semicolon?
No. All right, end of the jQuery in here? No. HTML doesn't use any semicolons. And remember, we're putting the jQuery script tag in the HTML. All right. Let's go ahead then, and remember we have a form tag here. We have an input tag inside it, and we're giving the form tag an ID. And you can go ahead and put done in chat when you have this code and the jQuery script. All right. We're also going to give our input an ID. We'll give this one the ID of name. We're also going to give it a placeholder. I'll put the word placeholder in chat here. Placeholder equals quotation mark and then name. Now, if I do Command F, save, which is, or just run, same thing, and go to my little site here, I can go to contact, and I have a form field down here with the word name as kind of like a backdrop, so you know the point of the input. I'm also going to go ahead and make a button. All this within the form field, or the form tag. We do button and then send. The button will have send in between the tags. And we'll go ahead and give it the type of submit. Type equals quotation mark submit. SUBMIT. By giving it the type submit, you're telling HTML that, okay, this button is inside a form, and when I click the button, I want the form to submit. Depending on what we do, I may end up taking this out if we actually need it, but for now, let's keep it. And go ahead and click done if you've written the code, and make sure to also go ahead and check to see if it's working. Check to see, if you're on your contact page, you have a little input and you have a little button. Always make sure to test things out. If REPL isn't taking too long to run. And go ahead and put done in the chat when you're done. All right. Now that we have the basic HTML done, you notice obviously right now if we put in a name and click send, the website does reload, which I'll get to in a second, but nothing happens. What we need to do is go to our script.js. And just so you know, each file, it has the same script.js that we're linking to. If you, after the class, go and like mess around trying to add more stuff to other files, you may notice that there's some weird behavior because, you know, you have all your scripts in one file. Usually you would separate them out, maybe have like about.js and then index.js, stuff like that. But for now, we do everything on script.js. And what we'll do is go $. Remember, $sign is a way of saying, okay, this is jQuery code. $, parentheses, quotation marks, and then pound. Same way how in CSS we find the ID of something, pound, or hashtag. Hashtag form. So we're getting the ID of we're getting the element that has the ID form. Form, oh shoot, actually I messed up a bit here. Actually, we want to get the button itself. My bad. We should go ahead and on the button, give it the ID, button. So give the button the ID button, and then in the script, we'll get the ID button, not the ID form. Important distinction. And let's go ahead and, yeah, okay. So, we're getting the button. We're now going to go dot click, and then that's parenthesis. And then we're going to do something called putting the function inside here. Usually we would put the name of the function that we want to call when the button is clicked. But here we're just going to put the entirety of the function. So in between the two parentheses, we're going to type in function, then left parenthesis, and curly braces, enter, as usual. We're just putting the entire function inside the click. This is effectively the same thing as writing the function outside and giving it a name, and then putting that name in the click function. But it's a little bit easier, and you see programmers doing it like this a lot because it's just easier. Let's code. And for now, we'll go ahead and inside the click function, just console.log clicked. Shoot. And put done in chat when you are done. All right, any problems, any errors? Remember, we need to get the ID of the button and also adding the ID button on the button. My mic is falling off. Give me 1 second. All right, anyone having trouble with the button here? All right. Let's go ahead and test it out. I will click run here. I'll go to my REPL on my contact page. I'll type in whatever, click send. And I need to be on my console here. Click send. If you notice, if you have a keen eye, you can see for a second, you see the console clicked on the console. But if you notice, the website immediately reloads. That is because we have put this type equals submit on the button. Oh, am I getting another error? Oh, I see. Okay. I'm getting 2 errors. I will deal with one at a time here. First, by doing type equals submit, we are trying to actually submit the entire form to the website. And the website has like a lot of special stuff it does about sending forms. And to do it, it needs to reload the page. So one thing we can do is just take out the type equals submit. It should still work. We may need to put it back on, but for now, that might be the easiest way, taking out that type equals submit and then trying it again here. I'm still reloading. Okay. So there are 2 possible reasons I'm reloading. The main thing, though, is that even without the type equals submit, it is still trying to reload the entire thing because we have put the button inside the form. It's still saying, okay, a button is being pressed, so submit all the form data. So what we want to do is use the line event.prevent default, or just, I believe you have to prevent default. Here, let me see real quick if just prevent default works. All right, let's go ahead and in the parentheses of the function, in here, we'll go ahead and type in event. The reason we're typing in event is because if you remember, the ID or the idea of the function is that anything inside here is being passed into the function, or you're getting it as information. And you're giving that information a name so that you can use it later. And the information we are getting when the .click function, the .click jQuery function calls our function, is a bunch of information about the event, about the click event. And we can use that to type in event.preventDefault. I'll put the line in the chat, event.preventDefault. What this will do is it will say, okay, I know a form has just been submitted, but don't do what you usually do. Let me deal with the form. And now if I run it and click send, shoot, I am getting another error. Oh, wait.
I don't think that actually works by me.
Yeah, I am just realizing it. Yeah, it looks like REPL had a bit of a issue there. It didn't update correctly. Yeah, it seems to be working now. Okay. Yep, it should be working now. When you're done, go ahead and if REPL is running good, you can go ahead and test it out. And when you're done, put done in chat. Oh, and one more thing I'm going to do here is if you look down at the console, I have the phrase $sign is not defined. It doesn't seem to be making any problems right now, but that's because, as I mentioned earlier, all of our HTMLs are linking to the same script.js. And while the contact one has jQuery, the other ones don't. So when I first load it, it loads in like the index and it's saying, oh, okay, load in the script, and oh, $sign is not defined. It shouldn't affect like any actually thing within our code right now, but just for the future, let's go ahead and just take out the other script tags in our other files. Just remove those, and then when we want to have them later, we can just make new script tags and link those script tags. That way each file has its own script tags. All right, and any questions about this function event part here? I don't know how familiar you are all with passing in parameters to a function. All right. Okay, so right now what we're doing is we know the button itself works. We know that when you click the button, we can now do stuff. And the website doesn't like take over and try to reload the page. Now what we're going to do is actually, when the button is clicked, we're going to get the information inside this input. The first thing we're going to try to get is, let's go $sign, parenthesis, quotation mark, like always, and then ID or hashtag name. Basically, when the button is clicked, go get me whatever element has the ID name, and we know that to be the input. So ID name, and then we'll go dot val. And yeah, dot val, I believe we have to invoke that. And by invoke, I mean putting in this left parenthesis, right parenthesis. Same thing we did with a prevent default. Basically, just like how we call a function in JavaScript with a, function, and then var x equals function. Same way we call the function x by invoking it with x and then the quote parentheses. We're also invoking these functions: prevent default, .val. In fact, a lot of jQuery is just these functions here. Even .click is a function we're actually invoking. It's doing a bunch of code, like running a bunch of code, behind our back. Like on the back end, it has a magical black box, and we're saying, okay, prevent default, and it goes and prevents the default. And here we're saying, okay, get me the value of name. And now we can't just say, okay, .val, give me the value of name. We need to do something with it. And for now, we're going to go ahead and store it in a variable. So let's go let, and then name equals, and then the $sign name.val. And to see if it's working, we'll console.log name. And let me see if I've done this correctly here. I'll put a name in and send. Oh, and there we go. It works. I now console.log whatever I have in the input. Give everyone a chance to catch up, and once you've done this and it's working, go ahead and put a done in chat. All right, any questions about anything so far before we move on? All right. Okay, now we have the name. We are console.logging it. Now let's try to do something with it. One thing we can do with it is go ahead and we can, I guess we can kind of make like a automatic chat box here in a way. What we can do is go ahead here and let's, on the contact, make a p tag down here. A p tag with the ID of result. And with this ID result, we'll go ahead and in the script, instead of console.logging, or still console.log, still keep that line just so we can see later, like it's still correct. We would go $, parenthesis, quotation mark, hashtag, and then result. Make sure to spell result the same way both times, RESULT, result. We'll go result dot append, or let's not go append, let's go HTML. Basically, the difference is that append adds text, HTML just changes the text. Go .html and then parenthesis, and we'll put in maybe name for now. Or let's go ahead and put in quotation marks, hello, and then plus name. And if you haven't seen this before, what we're doing is giving the string hello and then adding it to the string name. And JavaScript will say, okay, just put those two together. And make sure to put a space after the hello.
You please go back to the content HTML. I didn't get the text result.
Could you say it one more time?
Could you go back to the contact HTML?
Yeah.
Thank you. I thought
All right. And now if I run it and go to the replet, I put in my name and then find, and it does not work. So let's see why. Have ID result. Let's do append here. Just for me testing it. I know append works. Oh, shoot. Okay. Why didn't HTML work, I wonder? Maybe let's go text. Maybe I'm using that wrong. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what I did wrong there. Okay, now if I send it, I get hello. I don't get the name, which is interesting. Okay, this will be a impromptu practice on debugging. So first of all, as you see, what I did there is I am going ahead and I was using HTML to be a little experimental because I thought that's how it worked. But I know for a fact append works. So first of all, I'm just identifying like what's different than what I normally do. I'm going to append because I know that works to see is that the problem. And now when I send it, I see I have hello. But I also see I have another problem. I'm just saying hello and not adding the name. Instead of append though, I also know text works. That way, now when I do it, I get hello, and I only get hello once. Oh, and I figured out my problem. Does anyone, okay, I figured it out. Can anyone else figure out what my problem is? Here's my code. If you go to the replet, nothing happens. It's actually very obvious once you see it. All right. And actually,
Quotation mark.
could you say it again?
Missing the quotation mark.
No, I have both quotation marks here, and actually my code is actually correct. So you can go ahead and start doing this code. And in fact, the way I figure it out is because I know I'm console.logging the name here. And since the name seems to be the problem, or like the variable name here, I'm looking over here when I click the button and seeing, oh, the console is empty. And then I realized I haven't put a name in the input. Now when do send, I get hello Quinn.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes it's not a fault in your code, it's just a fault in you. All right, so go ahead, give everyone a chance to catch up, and when you're done with this and it works, go ahead and put done in chat. Or just unmute, say done.
I still didn't write the code in the contact HTML. I was a bit too slow there.
Okay. All right. Oh, you're saying you don't have the content.html file?
No, I'm just saying that I just have to write the PID result. I didn't write that.
Ah, okay. Yeah, right here. Just a normal p tag we're writing, and then just ID equals result. RESULT. And always make sure you have your ID names the same as when you're getting the ID names up here. if you ever have, if you're ever wondering like what's wrong with my code, you've probably misspelled something here. Especially like forgetting a T in button.
I don't get the. It doesn't work for me.
All right. Go ahead and what is the error right now? What's the problem?
It doesn't show hello or anything.
Okay. I'm gonna stop my share and you can go ahead and share your screen. Ah, I see. On line 3, you should actually be setting name equal to a variable that is equal to that $ name. Like if you see up here, I have let name equals and then the $ name.val stuff. Because if you just do this part here, $name, you are getting the value of the name and then not doing anything with it. So here we're just putting it in a variable. All right, and when it's done and if it's working, you can go ahead and put done in chat.
It's still not working.
All right. Go ahead and share your screen again. Huh. Can you go to your contact.html? Huh. Go ahead and type in a name in the search bar and click send for me. Ah, you got an error. Okay. All right. First of all, go ahead and in your button, just take out that type equals submit.
Delete this one.
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna be the problem, but it's probably part of it. Okay. One thing I'm noticing is that it's possible the fact that the other files don't have jQuery could be it. So go ahead and in your about and your index, just take out that script tag at the bottom. And for everyone else, if you're having problems, just take out your script tag. I don't think it's gonna be the problem, but it could be it. And it could make further issues in the future.
Take this line out.
Yeah.
ไม่ได้ On the about page and which one?
And the index.
Index.
Huh. All right. Is anyone else experiencing the same issues?
Not really. I'm not really done writing the JavaScript.
All right, take your time. All right, so I'll go ahead and go back to your script here. Oh, okay, I see the problem. Everyone, go ahead and real quick look at source code and see if you can spot the problem.
Is it capitalized?
Yes. On line 2, it should be prevent default with a capital D. There we go. Now that should work. There we go. Good job. And for the sake of like the kind of mindset of debugging, one thing is to think, okay, what is happening when what's happening is when you click the send button, it's reloading the page. The only thing that could be doing that would be the button being of type submit, and also the event.prevent default not working for some reason. All right. And here is the correct code for anyone still finishing up. All right, Finya, how are you doing? And Lucky.
Good.
And Finya, having any problems though?
No, looks good.
All right.
Stuck in the about page. The about page is not ready yet. From there, you cannot go to contact.
Okay. The main
that
thing
easily.
there is to just have this href equals /contact.html. Basically, you're going to have this little href here going to contact.html on the anchor tag of the contact anchor. Line 15. Should be line 15 for every file, and you want it on every file. Put it on the about page and the index. All right, we're going to do just one more quick thing before we end class here, and that is a bit of basically protecting your website against the user. Basically, right now it's only a mild problem, but if you were to not put in anything and just click send, you get hello and nothing else. Just to kind of fix that a bit, we'll go ahead and put in an if statement here. A little practice with if statements. We'll do if, and then name is equal to nothing. We'll do curly braces, and then we'll do alert. Remember, alert is a little pop-up that we get, and then alert, please put in a name. We'll then go else, curly braces, and then just put in this line 12 here and put it inside the else statement. That way, if the name is blank, we do an alert. Otherwise, give the result like we should. And if I run that, go to my contact page, just click send, I get a alert up here. But if I put in my name, great name, hello, great name. All right, I'll give everyone a chance to get caught up, and you can go ahead and tell me when you're done. And this will be the last thing we do today, so just take your time and write this down, and I'll help everyone go through their code. Oh, and one thing to notice is that on the if statement, I have equal equals here, not just equal sign. If name equal equals, and then nothing in the quotation marks.
Can you show the when you don't put in the name what the alert say?
It says, please put in a name. I can show it here. If I don't put in anything, I get press send. I get a box up here. Does anyone see the box that says please put in a name?
I don't see on your screen.
Huh. It was working earlier. Here, I'll take a screenshot of it and then I will send it in the chat.
Isn't it a bit annoying that you have to, for the menu, you have to type it again and again and again, the same thing? Isn't there a way to put it, to outsource it into another file or something for the menu?
Yeah, there is various
in
things you can do
every-
there. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
at the moment, sync, right? It's very, very annoying to keep it in sync with all the files.
Yeah, there is a way to make your own custom HTML tags. It's a little bit difficult. I could go into that in next class. But yeah, you can basically there is a way to like make your own custom HTML tag in a separate file that has this code, and you like name it navbar. So later you just put in navbar up here.
Okay.
You can't do that now. You have to like set it up. I can go into that next class.
Okay, sounds good.
That's using more of the new like HTML5 features. But especially back when I learned it, you did just have to put in the same nav bar, each one. All right, have anyone gotten the if statement section working? All right, good job, Finya. I'll go ahead and give a couple minutes here for just keeping the code up on the screen. All right. We'll go ahead now, and that is the end of the class. Good job, everyone. If you were able to do it, we now have made a full form. It's actually not that many lines of code, really. Especially with jQuery, you have the click function just in one line here. You do need this prevent default part, and then getting the values. And then for later, if you want to, you can add more inputs. Like I can go ahead and add another input here, name it color, and then put the placeholder be like favorite color. And then in my script, I would just make another variable called color, get the ID color, and then I would, along with the text hello name, I would also maybe like do another one and then put in the color, or maybe make another p tag with a different ID to put another one, or maybe just append, like append hello and then append the next one. A lot of different things you can do. Go ahead and, if you'd like, for homework, just experiment with different things, and then when you have something you kind of like, post it on the Facebook. I can help you through your code if you have any problems. When I post the recording of the video, I'll also post the link to this REPL, so you can go and look at the code if you need to reference it. And see you next week. Hope everyone had a good time. Any questions before we end? All right.
My
See you next
dad-
week. Thank you.
Actually, my
Thank
dad
you.
and I only have Facebook, so could we post it like in
Oh, yeah, you can post in
Discord?
Discord. Yeah, that works.
Okay.
All
And
right.
my
Goodbye.
mom-
See you next week.